breaking news this morning. It begins with some devastating news out of France. 3 people have been killed and several others are wounded after what police believe was a terrorist attack at a church in the southern coastal city of Nice. A suspect, who police say used a knife in the rampage, is now in custody. So CBS News correspondent Elaine Cobb has been following all of the latest on the story. Elaine, you are in Paris. So give us the basics. The story broke not too long ago. So what can you tell us so far? What do we know?
Anne-Marie, the incident happened around 9 a.m. local time in Nice. So the streets were crowded. The area around the Notre Dame Church, which is the largest church in the city, was filled with people who were going to work or doing some last-minute shopping before the coronavirus lockdown comes into effect at midnight tonight. At least 3 people were killed. One of those killed inside the church was believed to be the church warden. Another was an elderly woman who escaped. She ran to take refuge in a nearby bar, but she died from her wounds. We believe one of those killed had their throats slashed. There are still some grey areas on what exactly happened. Police aren't even sure that the final death count is 3. Now, there are police swarming all over the church and the area. They've blocked off roads there. They have a security cordon, and counter-terror investigators have taken over the case because they believe this was a terrorist incident.
So we know that the attacker is in custody. Can you give us any more information? I know it's pretty early on, but what do we know about this person?
The mayor of Nice said that the man was yelling "Allah Akbar," God is great, as he attacked people and as he fled from the scene. Police gave chase. They shot him. He is still alive, but he's detained and in the hospital. Counter-terror investigators will want to speak to him. At the moment, we don't know anything more about him. But as you know, there have been several incidents of late of attacks, and this comes just after President Macron had sworn to stamp out radical Islam in France.
Yeah, you talk about, several incidents. We all watched the protest after a school teacher was murdered in Paris when in one of his lessons he brought up the Charlie Hebdo cartoon. And as I understand it, there had been an attack in front of the former headquarters for Charlie Hebdo just at the end of September. Of course, this is 4 years ago that there was a terrorist truck attack in Nice itself. 86 people were killed. I can't imagine what the mood is like in France. And of course, above all of this, hanging over all of this, is the pandemic. And as you mentioned, the impending lockdown. What is it like there?
Well, people are somewhat in shock, it has to be said, because the lockdown is already playing very heavy on people's minds because it is going to be very tough going for the next while. And now people are afraid that will the next few days be the scene of several more attacks as people try to take advantage of those last few days. The curfew does come into effect at midnight tonight, but because it's school holidays, there's a sort of lenience about people returning from vacation, so that, there is still some time. Several people have already said, are we going to see more in the next few days? So people are afraid of that. Now, the president was already in conversation with his cabinet when the news broke of this incident. They were talking about COVID, and Paris lawmakers observed a minute's silence for the victims of today's attack. And the president is considering traveling to Nice. There's just so much happening at the moment that people are feeling, really, how much more can we take? So it's not so much fear as this kind of numbing shock and please, can it just all stop?
Right, I can only imagine. And Elaine, I don't want to throw something at you, but we're getting some additional breaking news off the wires. I don't know if you know anything about this. There may be maybe another attack in Avignon, France?
Yes, we've seen reports that in Avignon, which is not far from Nice, it's in the south, a man was detained by police as he also was wielding a knife, yelling Allahu Akbar and attempting to attack people. For the moment, that is all we know, but that plays into the kind of fear that will there be copycat attacks? Will people who want to attack France, who are angry at the publication of cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, will they answer the call by ISIS to grab whatever kind of weapon you can find and attack the French?
Well, Elaine, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. This is a developing story. We're going to keep an eye on it all day. Elaine Cobb, stay safe.